Here's the tail of the tape. We get underway. Ramirez is a guy who is peaking. He's 28 years old, 5'6", 125. Reach advantage goes to Ramirez, 3 inches. Avelar, very young guy, only 23 years old, so we'll start things off. This should be a good scrap. Eduardo Ramirez, Isaac Avelar. We get things underway, and we go to the ring. And Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome. From Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California, Premier Boxing Champions presents a big night of action coming your way. It's Fox Sports PBC Fight Night, brought to you by TGB Promotions. This bout in the ring is presented in association with Samson Boxing and is sanctioned by the WBA, the president Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. Judging at ringside for this bout, Carla Cais, Steve Morrow, and Sharon Sands. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the Interim WBA Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first, on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with silver trim, hailing from Aguascalientes, Mexico. He weighed in at 125 pounds. His record, 17 wins, 2 losses, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the world-ranked southpaw contender, introducing Isaac Canelito Avelar. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner in this 12-round championship attraction, wearing black trunks, silver trim, hailing from Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. He weighed in at 125 and 1/2 pounds. His record, 24 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws, with 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the WBA's top-ranked featherweight contender, introducing Eduardo Zurdito Ramirez. And our referee in charge now to give instructions, Gerard White.
Fighter chief second. Fighter chief second. We run the rules in the dressing rooms for the WBA Interim Featherweight Championship. The trunks are just a tad bit high. I'm gonna let them work it right here. Trunks are good here. Let's touch them up, fellas, and let's go to work.
Outdoors in a ballpark here in Carson, California. Closed captioning is available for tonight's telecast. If you'd like to hear the broadcast in Spanish, you can click over to the simulcast on the Fox Deportes app. Getting ready and getting underway. We've got at least 6 fights for you here tonight, here on Fox, and then later tonight on the pay-per-view. Isaac Avelar taking on Eduardo Ramirez. Lennox Lewis, Joe Goosen here with me ringside. I'm Brian Kenny, and we're underway. Ramirez, Joe Goosen, is a guy that has been peaking. We've seen him come off back-to-back knockouts of near fringe contenders. He's looked very good. I'm wondering, can Avelar hang with Ramirez at the level he's fighting these days?
No, Ramirez, he showed the first time we saw him was against Bartolome, and he just really snuck up on him out of that southpaw stance and knocked out Bartolome, I believe, in the 5th round. He's really a good fighter.
And here, nice action there from Avelar, who comes off a win. Lennox, we saw him in Dallas against the unbeaten Sicario Lucas. He looked very sharp in that fight. Doesn't have a ton of power, but he's got good skill.
Yeah, he's got really good skill. He likes to come forward and really mix it up. So I love to see this fight because this is going to be a banger.
Yeah, Avelar very aggressive so far here in the first round. Really sticking it. 23 years old. He's 17-2. Again, he is Canelito, Little Cinnamon. Big Cinnamon will be here. Canelo himself. Of course, Andy Ruiz has been training in Canelo's training camp, worked for him, lost a ton of weight. He's focused, ready to go for the main event tonight. Ramirez, consistent, aggressive, creative, very good fighter. Now getting a load of Isaac Avelar and trying to assess as he snaps out a jab and bounces it off his head.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between these two guys, Brian. They're both aggressive. They're both southpaw. They both have a knockout punch. And,
Sharp hit there.
Avelar just got clipped with a good right hook.
Yeah, Avelar is looking to hold right now because he got hurt, which was a wise thing to do so he could get his balance back again, but I think he's regained it again, so he's okay.
That is real snap from Eduardo Ramirez. You could see that when he throws the right hook or the left, and the sharp jab straight up the middle.
That right hook is the punch that he knocked out Flores with.
Yep.
And it's very strong. But Avelar, in my notes when I watched tape on Avelar, I saw that he had a tendency to pop that chin up a little bit. And even though he's aggressive, you see how he comes at you 2-3 steps and his chin is up a little bit instead of buried in his chest. So he's going to be vulnerable to that hook or left hand from Ramirez if he doesn't cure that a little bit. Keep his hands up or chin down. Very
aggressive opening round here between Ramirez in the black trunks, Avelar in the white.
Yeah, they're not wasting any time. They're getting right to it. Like I said, down the line, this is going to be a wicked fight.
And Lennox, they're both box, and then the offense flows right out of their boxing.
Yeah, I mean, first it starts with boxing, then it's banging.
Yeah, their instincts is both of them are to be aggressive. But Ramirez will box a little bit more. When he fought Claudio Marrero, was another southpaw. He boxed a lot.
Avelar pressing the action, but Ramirez able to scamper away. Off to a good start here. Good first round here in California. Back here ringside in Carson, California. Lennox, Joe, you can see that these guys are catching each other in exchanges.
Yeah, it's when you got two southpaws boxing, this is what happens. You throw the same punch and get hit at the same time.
Avelar quick off the bell and buries a body shot to the belly of Ramirez. And following up with a double jab.
I like how Avelar's using that jab. He's pushing Ramirez back, which is good.
Joe mentioned his last fight. That was Eduardo Ramirez when he stopped Miguel Flores. And he just opened up with a vicious attack in the second round. And that was against Joe, a guy who had gone the distance with Leo Santa Cruz. And he knocked him out.
Exactly. And look, both guys are extremely talented. Avelar as well. He had a great fight with the 22-pound champ, Stephen Fulton, until he got stopped late in the 5th round. But I got to tell you, he's a really good fighter. He's very aggressive against Fulton. He got hurt with a body shot and stopped by Fulton.
What's so good about this too, Joe, is they are throwing vicious shots. I mean, they're responsibly boxing, and yet when they're throwing their power shots, everything is behind it.
Well, because they figure why go light when if you're going to throw something, might as well make it hard and see if you can hurt the guy and take him out. That's what both of these guys are about.
You can see the shadows here in Carson as the sun is still high in the sky, blazing down on us. Most of the ring is in shadows. Not quite like Dodger Stadium, though, Joe, where you can be pitching through the shadows.
Right.
You can't see the fastball. I think they can see each other pretty well.
Yeah, you got to wait till that sun comes down, and you don't have that half and halfer, right, from the mound of the plate.
Right. And this is part of the experience of fighting outdoors. And Joe, you're training Chris Arreola, so the main event, you don't have that issue. It'll be cool tonight. Sun will be down, the lights will be up, and there's fans in the stands. So we expect a great entertainment venue here tonight. This is a great fight crowd, and it's gone back, as Carissa mentioned, 17 years. Great fights. If you don't throw punches, you will get booed, but that is not an issue here in round 2.
No, Ramirez is really moving well. He's pretty sharp with the movement. He's not standing in one spot, and he's not getting hit.
Nice counter there by Avelar. Can you see the constant pressure from Ramirez in the black trunks? Good counter there by Ramirez on his way out. Snaps out a jab, gets aggressive, hits him with the left hand. Good head movement there from Avelar. This is what we expect all night. We have evenly matched fights throughout the night, and this one is a burner from the start.
Yeah, I think every fight on this card and the next card are going to be, there's not going to be any fight that isn't going to be action-packed. I can guarantee it.
I'll tell you, Ramirez just landed 3 good shots. Avelar countered nicely with 2 shots of his own. Good counter work, just a good back and forth.
Yeah, great back and forth between both of the fighters.
Good left hand there from Ramirez off the jab, and Avelar answers immediately. Final seconds punctuated by a Ramirez jab. Good action so far. Eduardo Ramirez, Isaac Avelar here in Carson, living up to the billing already. Back here in Carson, California, Andy Ruiz, Chris Arreola, the main event later tonight on pay-per-view. Here we're getting started with 2 fights in the sunshine here in Carson. Eduardo Ramirez, Isaac Avelar to open things up. And what's so impressive to me, Lennox Lewis, is Avelar, who's, to me, he's kind of the B-side on this. He's got to fight a little harder to stay with Ramirez, but every time he gets touched, he fires back hard.
Yeah, he does fire back hard, which he doesn't want Ramirez to get all those punches out and him not, answering that question. It's important for him to answer that question to get back, so he stays in this fight. One thing that I like about him is that he moves.
Oh! Avelar's hurt and down he goes. Ramirez is that quick.
That hook, that right hook of his is just devastating.
6,
and Avelar
7, 8.
the ref may not let this go on if he gets hit with one more good shot.
Avelar trying to clear his head.
Step over here.
Referee Gerard White is trying to get him to move back and forth and answer the call. Avelar right back at it, and he's on shaky legs.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing, trying to hold.
Oh, and another sharp right hook. Avelar out on his feet. It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Referee jumps in to save Avelar, who tried to stay on his feet with everything he had. But Eduardo Ramirez continues his tear through the featherweight division. Another impressive win.
And that's the thing about Ramirez. That right hook of his is dangerous. That's what he usually uses to put guys out. And the chin of Avelar was just up and unprotected.
That is impressive. Again, Ledwan Bartolome, Miguel Flores, and now Isaac Avelar. All competitive fighters, but there it is. Dynamite right hook puts Avelar down.
Right on the chin, too.
And Avelar had that left hand down that's supposed to be protecting. He was throwing his punch. One punch is working, the other one's protecting. The other hand's protecting, and that wasn't the case here.
And give Avelar credit. He tried to get back up, and he tried to stay there. Gerard White wisely got in when he saw Avelar there, basically, unable to defend himself.
No, he got frozen on the ropes with another couple punches, and the ref stepped in, did the right thing, because he really was defenseless.
Wow, that was impressive. Eduardo Ramirez, a guy who seemingly saw his career going nowhere, turned it around, and now again, that's the third straight fight where he's just looked world-class and like a future world champion. Look at that hook, again.
Yeah, it was a situation where Avelar just put that left hand down a little bit and left that open spot for Ramirez to come with that right hook. Boom, right on the chin. When you get hit, punch on the chin like that, it's hard to come back. That is the sweet spot for everybody.
And here's the end, right here on the ropes, boom. He got clipped right on the temple there with the left hand by Ramirez, and then here comes that right hook, right uppercut, kind of a half of both of those punches. And the legs, look, here's where he drops his hands, he's defenseless. The referee spotted that and jumped in.
I think that was the right call at the right time, where White was going to give him a chance because Avelar looked like he gathered himself, but he didn't get his hands back up.
No, he was still hurt from that first knockdown. The second one didn't do him any better, and there would have been a third had he not stepped in right there.
Yeah, I think everybody was waiting for him to fall, and the referee took that time to step in at the right time.
To his credit, Lennox, he moved his head right as soon as Ramirez got to him, just out of instinct.
Yep.
However, you saw how he stumbled with White, the referee. It was time to end this fight. And Ramirez, a guy who, again, in 2017, he took on Lee Selby, a former featherweight titleist. He came in overweight. He was not eligible to even win the title, and he lost that fight. And ever since then, he has turned things around, avenged a split decision draw against Ledwan Bartolome, and he starched him, Joe, and he's got now 3 impressive knockouts in a row.
Yeah, he had that rematch with Bartolome where they had a draw first, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
and then in the second one we called, and it was just Ramirez all the way.
Yeah.
It was a blowout.
Very impressive. Eduardo Ramirez, a man on the move, moving up fast, championship contender, getting after it, and he gets the knockout on Isaac Avelar. Very game Avelar as well. We step away for a moment, underway and hitting hard already in Carson. Let's get the official call and go to the ring, and Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 1 minute 16 seconds in round number 3. Our referee in charge, Gerard White, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of knockout. He is now the interim WBA Featherweight World Champion, Eduardo Zurdito Ramirez.
Joe Goosen, I'm looking at Ramirez, and that guy is, if he's not going to be a world champion, he's fighting for a world championship very soon.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this was for the interim title. It's for the
there's interim.
Title.
There's lots of interims.
I get it.
Yeah.
But what we're both saying is he's that far away.
Yeah,
he's
from being at the very top.
That's right. That's right. When you're an interim champ, that means there's something in transition going on. And you're most
They're waiting. You could be in recess, you could be interim, you could be in absentia. But basically, he's climbing toward the top 10. And again, the last 3 fights, he's looked fantastic.
And he's knocking guys out. He's not just winning.
Let's go back, take a closer look. This was Lennox Lewis, competitive at the outset. Avelar was fighting well.
It was. Avelar came. He came. He meant business. He started off strong and hard, and he wanted to make a point. The only thing he lacked was the defense. That left hand just was a little bit too low, and he got caught.
And Lennox, Joe, you bring up a good point. Where at 126 pounds, sometimes you don't get everybody in the division with that type of power. He's got selling power.
Yeah, because look, he doesn't just give you a flash knockdown. He puts you on another plane. If you know what I'm saying. And then if you get up, he's going to take care of you and finish the job. He's that type of fighter.
Fantastic finish there. Take a look at the copy box totals again. Avelar, he got in some good shots, landed 42 of them, but Ramirez landed 57. Threw 30 more punches, just slightly more accurate. But again, they both had very good exchanges. It was a competitive fight, but Ramirez just putting himself at another level in the world class. Eduardo Ramirez moves up to 25-2-3, 28 years old, a man on the move.